Hello everyone, and welcome to a rather impromptu video, which came about in the last couple of weeks. I've been getting a lot of questions on my Twitch stream from people who learned and got interested in chess in the last couple of months, by watching Queen's Gambit or by watching PogChamps. And as over-the-board chess is resuming, as tournaments are starting to resume this summer and certain chess clubs in various cities are picking up their operation, I think a lot of people want to get into over-the-board chess and, they want to play a tournament, see what it's like to play an actual IRL chess tournament, or maybe join their local city chess club or find out if their city has a local chess scene. And so I've been getting a lot of questions from people who don't know where to start because if you want to play an over-the-board chess tournament, you have to become a member of the United States Chess Federation, and your eyes can kind of glaze over at that. Which websites do you need to go to? How do you even find a tournament listing? What is the difference between an online rating and a official over-the-board rating? So I've been getting a lot of these questions, and I figured that I'd make a totally unorganized, unscripted video where I walk you through some of the steps that you should take if you want to make a foray into over-the-board chess. So a couple of things that I'll be talking about. We'll start on the homepage of the United States Chess Federation, and I'll walk you through the process of becoming a member and how to find a tournament listing. Then we're going to take the micro view, and I'll talk about how to find whether your local city has a chess scene and how to find tournaments in your state. I know that I have a lot of international viewers as well, so please don't feel excluded. I'll be talking also about FIDE and what it means to be a member of FIDE, a FIDE rating, and how to find tournaments internationally. So a lot of the advice that I will be giving is, of course, very much applicable to wherever you live and wherever you are. Again, this will be a totally non-exhaustive overview. I'm sure that I'll leave a lot of questions unanswered. And I would encourage you to post more questions in the comments section. I plan to make a couple more of these types of videos if this one goes around well, where I'll talk about the over-the-board tournament experience. I'll answer other address other common misconceptions. So this will be part of a series of videos, but it's entirely experimental, so cut me a little bit of slack. And so without further ado, let's jump in. And let's start on the homepage of the United States Chess Federation, which is commonly abbreviated USCF. Let me just switch to my window browser tab. Here we go. And let's go to the US Chess website. It's uschess.org. And here you are. So if you want to play an official over-the-board tournament in the United States, the vast majority of tournaments require you to be a USCF member in order to join. Now, how do you become a USCF member? Well, that's pretty easy. You navigate over to join, you click become a member, and you would enter all of your information. I'm not going to enter my address, don't worry. Now, below you can select the particular option that you're looking for. If you're not entirely sure whether you want to keep this chess thing going, you'd select 1 year. And I would highly recommend that you select the small additional charge for Chess Life, which is the official magazine of the United States Chess Federation. It's jam-packed with cool information. It's got tournament reports. It's got annotated games. It's got information about upcoming tournaments as well. So I personally would highly recommend it. If you're absolutely sure that chess is going to play a big role in your life for many years to come, then definitely select a lifetime membership, either 64 and under or 65 and over. This is definitely a pretty good deal. Okay. Now, once you have filled out the form and made the appropriate payment, you will be given a member ID. Your member ID is very important. That is what's going to be used to register for tournaments. Now, you don't need to write down your ID in a safe place. This isn't like your Bitcoin wallet password, because if you want to find the ID of an existing member, then you would navigate over to ratings, click the player's rating lookup, and you can search any member, any player who is a member, current member of the USCF, current or expired, actually. I think this has very exhaustive information. You can search by member ID, but the easiest is to search by name. Now, can I remember any GMs, any people who are members of the USCF? I heard about this one guy. You certainly don't want to deal with him. It's just that I'm going to search him because I don't know anybody else. I don't even want to say this person's name. So let's see. And this takes a while to load. I think it's going through a huge, just massive database of players. And, well, there I am. You can see my rating and all the information, the state, date of expiry. I better renew my membership pretty soon. And if you click on the name itself, it redirects you to a page where you can find all of my tournament information. If you click on tournament history, you can see all of the tournaments I've played, basically since early 1990s. It has exhaustive tournament records. You can navigate over and see that I played my first tournament in 2003, where I was granted a rating of 803, so I was not born a GM. And you can do that with anybody who is a member of the USCF. And if you register, you're going to have an empty tournament page because you presumably wouldn't have played any over-the-board tournaments. But this member ID before your name, that's what you basically want to be aware of. And that's all there is to it. That's how to become a member of the USCF. Now, let's say that you've paid for the membership. What do you do now? So since we're already on the US Chess website, what you would want to do next is navigate over to Play and to view the tournament calendar. And this tournament calendar is not entirely exhaustive. It doesn't include every little local tournament, but it does include the vast majority. You can click Upcoming Tournaments, and you can do whichever search you want. You can search by state. You can search a date range. Let's say you have a couple of weeks off of work in July and you want to play a tournament somewhere in July. What you would do is you would enter these search fields, and let's say you could travel. You can click Apply, and it will take you through all of the tournaments. Okay, I think it didn't fully update. Let's see, May. Yeah, I guess it is updated. It's just these tournaments seem to be weekly tournaments that will be held in July. And you can basically see all of the tournaments that will be held in that rating range. Now, still, some over-the-board tournaments are resuming. Other tournaments are going to be held online. So make sure that the tournament you click on and you plan is an over-the-board tournament. Now, you can see here the 49th Annual World Open. This is one of the biggest open tournaments held annually in the United States. It's got a huge prize fund, and you've maybe even heard of it. It's held every year in Philadelphia. Now, if you click on the tournament listing, you're going to be taken to this page with just a huge block of text. Now, don't be overwhelmed by this. It's just a whole lot of technical stuff and a lot of boilerplate. What this basically tells you, what's important here are the dates and the location, of course, and then it's got information about sections and prizes. Now, most large-ish tournaments in the US have rating sections. The top section is usually the open section, where all of the grandmasters play, and by definition, anybody could play in the open. Sometimes there's lower rating restrictions, but generally speaking, people over 2,200, so masters and above, play in the open. And in these big tournaments, there's section increments every 200 points. So there's under 2,200, under 2,000, under 18, 1,600, 1,400. And if you are playing your very first tournament, over-the-board tournament, you would register in the under 1,100 unrated section. And I'll talk about how to register in just a second. So the interesting thing is that with this chess boom, you've had a lot of players who who've gained a lot of experience playing online, and so their rating might be 17, 1,800 online, but they haven't played a tournament. So my guess is that this summer, these unrated sections are going to be absolute bloodbaths. I mean, you're going to have players whose real strength is 16, 1,700 playing over the board. So it's going to be really interesting. But nonetheless, you would play in the unrated section no matter what your online rating is. And as I'll discuss in a moment, your USCF rating is totally distinct from whatever rating you have on Lichess or chess.com. Disregard that. Your official USCF rating is what's counted when you enter tournaments and when pairings are made. So you can see all the prizes for the corresponding section. So even for the unrated section, the top prize is $3,000. The World Open is a serious tournament. And you can check also the entry fees for each section. They're usually pretty pricey. But the World Open is a huge tournament, so the entry fee here is going to be a lot more expensive than the entry fee for some local tournament that you might want to play. Now, let's say that you like this and you want to register. Now, what do? At the bottom of the tournament listing, there's generally going to be a link to a more specified website where you can do the registering. The Continental Chess Association is the association that sort of organizes the World Open. Now, do not be confused. All of these tournaments that I'm talking about, they're all USCF rated. So they're held under the auspices of the United States Chess Federation. It's just that the Continental Chess Association refers to the particular organizer of the tournament. It's not a separate kind of like a chess. It's not like the NBA and ABA. It's just, it refers to the organizer. These tournaments are all USCF rated. So make sure some of these websites are not, have not been updated since, since the Battle of Antietam. So make sure that you are, very, very careful. You navigate over to the proper tournament. Don't click, the Bradley Open unless you want to play that. So let's say you wanted to play the World Open, where, see, even I can't find, there it is, World Open. You would click Enter Now. So let's say you want to register. You would click Enter Now. Okay. Again, you have to hunt it down. Now, most of these tournaments have side tournaments. You can play the World Open warm-up, or if you're a senior, you can play senior amateur. So you can hunt around in these sites as well, but not the World Open action, just the World Open. And there's usually a speed chess or a blitz tournament that's held the night or the day of the last round. You can register for that as well. But if you want to play one of those side tournaments, you would usually do that registration on site. Okay, so you would click Buy One Now, and this takes you to the registration page. All registration pages for tournaments are different, but they all ask you to provide the same thing. You have a USCF ID. You would search your own name. So let's say I was trying to register. Search my name. Click on your name and blah blah blah. You enter your address and all your information, and then I only can register it in the open section because I'm a GM. So I'm not eligible. Dang, I was gonna play in the under 1100 and stack some cash, but unfortunately it won't let me do that. But for you, if you didn't have a rating, it would essentially direct you to the appropriate section. Now, as a lower rated, you could technically play in a higher section. That is called playing up. That's when somebody, let's say who's 1200, does not play in the under 1400 section, but let's say chooses to play in the under 1800 section. If you're playing your very first tournament and your goal is to gain a little bit of experience, I do not recommend playing up. You're going to end up playing a lot of very high rated players. And if you don't have a lot of over-the-board experience, it might not be the best idea to do that straight away. And that's essentially how you register for a tournament. That's how you hunt down tournaments on a national scale. So just to recap, you would go, if we go back to the U.S. Chess Federation website, you would go to the Play tab and then click Upcoming Tournaments. If you want to hunt down just the really big tournaments, the tournaments that attract grandmasters and have a lot of sections, you can click the National Events Calendar, and this basically just shows you all of the big ticket events. What's coming up, a lot of you know, is the National Open. This is just a couple of days from the time the video is recorded. I've played in this tournament many times. Perhaps some of you viewers are playing in this tournament. Maybe this is even your first tournament. If so, congratulations. And you can hunt down really the big tournaments here, and you can plan well ahead. So, but to look at all of the tournaments, you would click Upcoming Tournaments. Now, if you're a young player, if you're a parent to a kid and you want him or her to get into chess, you can hunt down. You can explore international youth events, U.S. Open. So these are various tournaments that you can kind of call by age. The Denker, for example, is the annual national tournament of top-rated high schoolers. They basically choose the top-rated player from each state and invite them to one big tournament. So the 2020 Denker champion is a Grandmaster Nicholas Cheka, and that's right about all there is to it. You can also play around on this website. There's a lot of really good links and resources that you could find. Now let's take a more micro approach, and let's talk a little bit about how to find resources for chess in your city or your town or your place of residence. Now, if the year was 1967 and your name was, for example, Beth Harmon, how would Beth Harmon find where to play chess in I think she's from Kentucky. How would she find her local chess club? Well, you would have to use your copy of Chess Life. It was back then called Chess Review. And as I mentioned, it's the monthly magazine of the USCF. Many years ago, the Chess Review magazine would publish the tournament listing, and it would also publish a listing of chess clubs by city. Unfortunately, if only I had like an old copy of Chess Review lying around somewhere, I would be able to show you. Wait a second, I just might. Let's take a look here. 1967. How fitting. June. This is, wow. I didn't even realize that. Bobby Fischer on the cover here. So let's take a look. Now you can see here, there is a comprehensive tournament calendar by city. And let's see if I can show this on camera. I'm not even seeing what I'm showing you, but here we go. You can see Canada, Denver, and this is almost exactly the same as the modern listing on the U.S. Chess Federation website. All the prize funds and prizes and the address. So you had all of that just in the Chess Review magazine. And then at the end, you would have, let's see here, you would have a listing, and the magazine is falling apart, so it's a little bit hard to navigate this over to the camera, but you guys can see it basically lists all of the cities and all of the respective chess clubs. It's a little bit blurry, but you can see. Now, I wouldn't use 1967 Chess Review to and then visit the address listed on on the page. Some of these chess clubs, of course, still exist. The Marshall Chess Club in New York is a great example. The Berkeley Chess Club, but most of them are either defunct or they moved to a different address. So back then you would use Chess Review, but nowadays you have the internet, and the internet has all of the resources that you need to hunt down your local chess scene. So if we go back to that wonderful place called Google. All right, so let's see. Let me go back to my window browser tab, and let's make a new tab here, and let's go Google. And let's say for a hot second that you live in the state of Indiana. Let's choose a random state. The first thing I'd recommend that you do is most states have their own dedicated sort of sub-chess federation. So Indiana Chess Federation, California Chess Federation, North Carolina Chess Association. So you would want to start there because essentially that page will often contain a link to a page that has a listing of all of the chess clubs and chess scenes in your state. So if we go to the Indiana State Chess Association, okay, so you can follow the links here. Often there will be a tournament listing for tournaments in your state. So for example, in Indiana, you can play in the Northern Indiana Open Reserve. This is a smaller tournament, but you can still see that there are probably like one or two sections. And of course, the prizes are much smaller, so you can, to register, you have to go to this link. But on this particular website, you can click the clubs button, and it will basically show you a relatively comprehensive listing of all the chess clubs in your state. Now, one really interesting thing to see. I think some people think that the USCF kind of has a club chapter in every big city. That's really not how it works. In chess, basically every city fends for itself. And what you'll see is that some very big cities really have a very scant chess presence. There's no unified chess club. And then you might find that a very small town has a big and flourishing chess club. And you kind of see that here. Indianapolis, the largest city, doesn't even really have a chess club as far as I know. There's just some like chess meeting in the university. But some small towns like South Bend is not that small, but it seems to have a chess club. What you'll see is that many of these chess clubs meet in a cafe or restaurant. Actually, quite a few of them, or not a lot of them, just a few of them have a dedicated space. It's quite rare for a chess club to have a dedicated space, so don't be scared off if the chess club meets in a restaurant. That's very typical. And for some of these chess clubs, you can click on the website, and some of these chess clubs will have dedicated websites. And try to figure out what it is that you're looking for, because some chess clubs, they will have a weekly meetup where everybody will meet in that cafe, and you'll walk in, you'll see a bunch of people with chessboards, and they'll be playing casual chess and talking chess. And if you're just getting into chess, that's the kind of meetup that I'd recommend. And none of the speed chess games that are being played there are officially rated. This is just for fun. Now, some chess clubs, like the Charlotte Chess Center, they have weekly official games. So the Charlotte Chess Center has the TNA Tuesday night action. So every Tuesday night, you can come and you can play a USCF rated game. You can just walk in, and if you're a USCF member, you can register to be a member of the Charlotte Chess Center, and you'll be able to play a rated game. what you would want to do is you would want to check if your local city chess club has such an offering. So let's take another random city. Let's take Denver. Let's search Denver Chess Club. Denver, I think, does have a dedicated, okay, so it's located in a church, which is quite common for chess clubs. And you can click tournaments, so you can see what tournaments are being offered. And DCC, that almost sounds like one of those weekly events. Let's click on that and see where it brings us. No, that's a one-day tournament, so it's a one-day tournament. But you can essentially, you can look around, see club information. It seems like Tuesday is a very popular day for like chess meetups in general. Weekly meetings are held Tuesday night. So you could walk in at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday and you would see either they're playing casual games or maybe there's a casual games being played in one corner, and then there's like players who want to play official rated games. See, so just about every week the Denver Chess Club hosts classical rated games. That's pretty common for more unified chess clubs. But if you find that your city doesn't have a clear, meeting chess club, then the next best thing is to go to the website of your state's chess association. In fact, that's where I would start. Then I would go to the club listing on that page. Most states' chess federations will have that kind of page. And if that's not satisfactory, then you can directly search your city followed by chess club and see if there is any kind of chess scene. So that's a little bit about how to find tournaments on a larger scale and then how to explore your local city chess scene. Now, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about before I summarize FIDE and then wrap up, and that is I recently found a very interesting website. It's called chess-site.com, and let's say, for example, that you have a kid who you want to involve in a chess program. You want to find chess camps or chess academies. This is a good listing of some of these chess academies and chess camps that I found. And you can see here the Charlotte Chess Center is listed. You can see the Berkeley Chess School. So the Berkeley Chess School is very active in local schools. And this is a list of chess camps and chess academies, which are geared mostly for kids and younger players. But even if you're an adult, you could definitely explore. And sometimes these chess academies, they will host adult classes, like the Charlotte Chess Center in pre-COVID times would host an adult class every Thursday. And if you click, for example, on the website of the Berkeley Chess School, or let's actually just go to their website directly, you will see that the Berkeley Chess School hosts tournaments, and you can see the BCS Summer Camp 2021 in person. So there is a chess camp, and there's actually quite a few chess camps in the summer. So if you have a kid who's particularly interested in chess, consider enrolling them in a chess camp. That is, I guarantee you, if your kid likes chess, they will have a blast at a chess camp. I'm totally not biased, but really, it is a very good place to send your kid if they're into chess. So you can read about this Berkeley Chess School camp, and some camps are actually sleepaway camps. Some camps are half-day camps. But in any case, you can explore all of these chess academies and chess camps to maybe find a chess camp or chess academy in your city. A lot of the bigger cities have dedicated chess academies that may or may not be affiliated with the local chess club. So the way to understand this is chess organizations are very decentralized. You have the U.S. Chess Federation, and then you have all these sort of chess academies and organizers. Every tournament is USCF rated, but there isn't this sort of one unified organization. You have to hunt and peck and find different sources of information. And finally, let us transition to a more international scale. And let us go to the homepage of FIDE, which is, of course, the International Chess Federation. The reason it's called FIDE, that's a French language acronym, Fédération Internationale des Échecs, I think is what it stands for, which means International Chess Federation. And I don't know why it has come to be known FIDE by FIDE rather than ICF. I think that's just historical, but that is what it stands for. So this is the homepage of FIDE. And you can basically do on FIDE exactly the same thing that you can do on USCF, except on an international scale. So if you live in Europe or if you're traveling to Europe, you can click calendar. And the website is maybe a little bit less user-friendly, but it's easy to navigate nonetheless. And you can click the month. Let's say you're traveling to Europe with your family in August, and You want to see what tournaments are on offer? This is a pretty comprehensive list. There are dedicated chess calendars you can Google search, which have more comprehensive listings of tournaments. This basically has all the big stuff. You can see it lists the country, lists the tournament. If you will happen to be in Skalica, Slovakia, you can play in the Skalica Chess Festival. And this lists all of the same information. Beautiful. I kind of want to play there now. And basically, it will give you the official website through which you will have to register. Now, I should mention that most tournaments in Europe that are 9 rounds, so here you can see the number of rounds, quite often you will have only 1 game a day in Europe. So tournaments generally take a week plus, but not all of them. Some, they have short tournaments. But in America, if you have a 9-round tournament, usually there will be 2 games a day. So the schedule is a lot more grueling because generally tournaments are fitted to only last a long weekend. So even the World Open, the longest, you can play different sections. You can play 4-day, 3-day, and then eventually they all merge together. But the very longest section is only 4 days. So that's just something to factor in as well. But you can always see the start and end dates of these tournaments. So you can click on calendar and you can navigate around. And if you want to play a blitz tournament in Europe, there aren't too many over-the-board blitz tournaments scheduled right now. But here's another one in Slovakia, and another one in Slovakia. Wow, lots of tournaments in Slovakia. I've actually never played in Slovakia, but I'd love to visit. So you can find those as well. Other cool stuff that you can do on the FIDE website. Well, before I get to that, I want to talk for a second about ratings. So if you've registered as a member of the USCF, you played a tournament, you get a USCF rating. Now, for all intents and purposes, you do not have to worry about getting a FIDE rating. FIDE ratings and USCF ratings are completely 2 different kettle of fish. So what you see here, Magnus's rating, or if you search this anonymous and terrible GM again, you'll see that I'm 2621 FIDE rating, but if you search my USCF rating, it's like almost 2700. That's because these are 2 separate formulas, and not all tournaments which are USCF rated are also FIDE rated. So what happens is that when you play, let's say, the World Open, the only section of the tournament that gets submitted for a FIDE rating is the open section, the section that has all the grandmasters. If you play the under 1600 or you play the unrated section, you are not going to get a FIDE rating. And it's actually quite uncommon for a country to have its own rating system that's as active as the USCF. So there's only Great Britain, Canada, I think, has its own rating system. Most European countries do not have their own internal rate. That doesn't mean they don't have their own chess federations. It's just that their chess federations don't have their own rating system. So if you're starting to play chess in Slovenia, you will automatically immediately get a FIDE rating, even if you play in your local city tournament. So that's just the way that it is. It's not good or bad. And some, you might end up getting a FIDE rating if you get good and you start playing in the open section of a tournament. Your tournament will get submitted to FIDE. No action is required on your part. You don't need to register to be a member of FIDE. You automatically, essentially, as far as I know, maybe the regulations have changed, but as far as I know, no action is required. You will automatically get a FIDE rating, and you will have a listing on this page and be able to search your rating once you play in a FIDE-rated tournament. At first, your rating will be provisional. And once you play a couple of tournaments, your rating will stabilize. But unless you're a grandmaster trying to qualify for tournaments, and then you wouldn't really have any use of this video anyway, you do not have to worry about getting a FIDE rating or stressing about it at all. But you can search anybody's rating. You can look at the top 100 players. You can look at all of the players in a country. If you live in any country, you want to check who the top players in your country are. FIDE is a great resource for this. They changed the website, so I am actually having a little. Oh, there we go. So you can click the top Fed button, top federations, and it lists the average rating of the top 10. You can go all the way down. You can click. You live in Morocco. You can click Morocco, and you can see Morocco has a grandmaster, Hicham Hamdouchi. Now, the federation of the player doesn't always correspond to the country of residence. Hamdouchi lives in France, I think. But you can look up all the top players of your country. So one thing is, if you live in a country and you're having a hard time getting to your country's chess federation, but you want an in-person coach, one interesting hack is you could look up the top players in your country, and you could try to track down somebody who might not have a big online presence. You might find that they live if you live in the capital city, you might try to send them an email or find their contact, and they might be willing to give you in-person lessons. So that would be one use of that. And it's also just interesting to be aware of who the top players in your country are. So that's another interesting thing you could do. But by and large, you can click the directory and or contacts. You could email for media inquiries, and you could email the FIDE president. I don't think you'll get a response, but you can find all of this stuff on the International Chess Federation page. And that's about all I had for this video. I've already been blabbering for 30 minutes, so I think that's probably more than sufficient. If this video is well received, I will make more videos. I mean, I'll probably make more videos anyway, where I talk about different aspects of the over-the-board chess experience, and I want to talk, address other misconceptions about over-the-board chess. So this will be a series. I know that I've not addressed a lot of things, and you are more than welcome, really encouraged to leave comments where you clarify or ask questions, and I will do my very, very best for this video to browse the comment section and address specific questions on the basis of what I talked about today. So I hope that I was able to at least partially demystify the process of getting active in over-the-board chess and explain some of these tricky and thorny concepts that kind of just get thrown around a lot. And I thank everybody for listening. I know it's been pretty long video, so let's close off for now. Thanks again for listening. Feel free to leave questions and other advice and topics to discuss in the comments section, and I'll keep uploading the speedrun videos in the next couple of days. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.